I didn't push the thing yet.
What the hell?
Oh my God. Like, are we live?
We are. At least Twitch says we are. Do we trust
Okay.
Twitch?
Well, that's where we're streaming to. So I would really hope so. In Twitch we trust. Welcome everyone back to Transpotting. I am your co-host and executive producer, Riv or River. Dealer's choice here with Eve. Say hi, Eve.
Hi, Eve.
Perfect. We did it. Nailed the intro once again. Moving on.
Like, I have 3 screens, so I'm like, I'd like everything everywhere. That's why I keep looking like this, like I'm like directing traffic.
Right?
Crazy.
Yeah. We're still waiting for some people to trickle in. I know we did a last minute announcement for this one, so
Like, I do have a little bit of a monthly roundup, I suppose, at some point.
monthly roundup. Ooh, let me post to Blue Sky, to old Blue Ski.
I love how
that
we
we
just
are
started,
live.
and Twitch is over here like, hey, it's incoming ad in 4.5 minutes. Like, we just started. This isn't network television. Can we at least get the show going before you're just like, hey, no, we gotta make our dollar.
I mean, thank you, Daddy Bezos.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Ridiculous.
Obama.
Ridiculous, as they say in the French. But it has been quite a hot minute since I've been on here, and
You and me
I
together.
don't think the world has gotten any more peaceful or calmer, at least not that I can tell. But I think I live my life now in a
No, what are you
consistent manic
talking
state,
about?
so
What are you talking about? No, never.
I don't even know what I'm talking about. Just kind of wing it everywhere as I go.
Yeah. I love how delayed my automated notification for our Discord server that we gone live. I love how delayed that is.
They're always
Cool.
late.
I'm gonna do a little manual pings. We don't have anyone to talk to and listen to us and ask questions, and that's no fun. I'll just edit this part out.
That's fine. We can
So
talk amongst ourselves.
could talk amongst ourselves.
That's content in and of itself.
Your content.
That needs sugar. I'm trying to get off of using Crystal Light because of the aspartame that's in it. And so I'm giving this like Lipton 5-minute cold brew stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you add sugar, it tastes like wood. And
That's what she said.
I don't know if drinking wood is the way I want to go with my taste palette.
You don't want to
for
be a
drink.
beaver?
Not really. Not that way.
Okay. Innuendo.
Maybe. I
Maybe,
just
if you're
said
good.
the words. You all infer what you want from that. That's on you. This is I am very much a PG-13 person. I would never stoop to innuendo ever. I'm a mature,
Ever.
reasonable
You've
adult.
never done that.
No.
Our patron saint of Chatterday Noir. Yes, of course. Oh, speaking of beavers, oh God, what was the name of the movie that has beavers in it that I just watched recently?
There's movies with beavers in it?
Hoppers.
What is it
Yeah, have
called?
you seen Hoppers? It's called Hoppers. It's a
I've never heard of that.
Pixar Disney animated
Hoppers?
thing. It's in
H-O-P-P?
theaters right now. Yeah, HOPPERS.
Hoppers. What is this?
Single-handedly has some of the most heart in a film I've watched in a long time. And I cried multiple times. I wasn't even on my period that time. All right. And it was good. It was really, really good. So good pick to watch in theaters right now, I think. But
the only movie I've seen recently that had a beaver in it was a movie called The Wild Robot from 2024. Very
have
good
to
movie.
watch that.
It's really good. Highly recommend
Keep bugging my partner to watch it with me.
It is on
She
Netflix.
watched it with her other partner. I was like, no, I want to watch it too. Watch it.
No, it's fun.
Well,
it's a lot of fun.
We don't have Netflix, but boycotts reasons and
I
stuff.
don't blame you.
Yeah.
It's only Netflix.
Also, I have everything else. It's hemorrhaging me.
That's how things go these days.
But hey, Hoppers, it's a great movie. It is a free plug for you, Hoppers. It was really cute. It was it just involved a lot of environmentalism and activism and healing generational trauma, and also a little bit of sci-fi of being able to put your consciousness inside a robotic beaver. That looks
beaver.
Real. Yeah, that's what she said.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I don't know where to go with that, honestly.
I don't blame you. Do you want to get into it?
We can.
Current events.
I mean, we're talking about beavers and trees, and I've been wasting a lot of trees lately at work with all the printing I've been doing, so why not?
Do we want to start or end with joy?
I say end with joy. Bring us low and then pick ourselves back up.
A happy ending, if you will.
Exactly. Again, read into that as you want. We're adults here. But no, as everyone's, well aware, the U.S. has devolved into, well, I can't really say it's devolving into a cesspool because it's kind of been one all along. We just
Yeah.
kinda stopped putting the shock into the pool, and it just turned that shade of green everyone knows that pools become, right? So, I mean, we're just being true to our terrible selves. But, trans folks, different story, because no one likes us these days, it seems.
Yeah.
We do have
Yeah.
some allies, our people do advocate for us. Um, Speak up more, all of you. You know who you are.
Yeah. Do it more.
But no,
Yeah, it's a tough, like, I know it's a tough, like, line to walk when you want to speak up for folks who are marginalized, but also not speak for them.
yeah.
So, if you don't know which way to go and how to support, just ask and listen. Um, and we'll understand. We don't ask in good faith and listen, and we'll understand. Like we'll know if you're listening in good faith or not. Or like asking a question in good faith or not. Trust
Yeah.
us. Trans people are used to bad faith arguments immediately right out the gate. You will know, so it'll be fine.
Oh, yeah. I think part of it too, for a lot of people I've known who are allies,
Hmm.
um, they don't know how to. And a lot of people, I think, are ultimately maybe conditioned is the right word for that. But a lot of the people I know are either unsure about help or they're afraid to because they don't want it coming back on them. And I think
Right.
that's a lot of people in this country in general. Um, what was it, March 28th? They had the No Kings Day. It was that Saturday, and everyone across the world, millions of people were out marches and that. Honestly, I don't find those effective. Um,
We're beyond that.
well, yeah,
We're far beyond these, and I understand like that people want to like show that they care, but like hey, maybe like more warehouses on fire. That's a joke. That's a joke.
that happened recently. It was a Charmin
Bleh,
factory. I think it was that
bleh.
went up, but oof. I thought that was AI, honestly. Then I got started seeing the news reports. I'm
Okay.
like, okay, maybe it wasn't. But
Yeah.
no, I think for a lot of the people that I know who want to help, they're just not in a position to do it because uh, they're afraid to take the time away to do it. They're afraid of the repercussions that will hit them, and it kind of becomes, do you help others? Do you help yourself? It's that fine line of sacrifice, I guess you could say. Um, Honestly, I don't know because I find myself in that boat sometimes too. I want to step up and do more things or help people in some ways, and then I'm kind of
Yes.
paralyzed because I've got my own list of shit, and that's keeping me from doing it. So, six of one,
Yeah.
half dozen the other, I suppose.
Well, and isn't that part of the plan too that the conservative
No.
administration has for people is to keep the poor poor,
Mhm. Well, and
make
that's
make anyone who is above that line crush them, so that you're still struggling and you don't have the ability to fight against
yeah,
because you're focusing on surviving. I mean, it's not the first time that we've encountered this particular kind of
yeah,
um, engagement from the government to try to keep you oppressed. I mean, it's tried and true method for over centuries, but
yeah.
it just it's just more apparent.
Well, the other thing too, and I saw another. I don't want to say influencer because I only ever saw this person once. It just happened to come across my feed. And this gentleman was saying how, the system as it's designed currently in this country, it's designed to weather anger. It doesn't, you can be as mad as you want. You can go out on a Saturday and complain and hold your signs up. The system doesn't care. And it's designed to keep you poor. It's designed to keep you unhappy. And it can weather all of that anger because every one of us is ultimately replaceable. We all are cogs in the capitalist machine, right? Not to be too doom and
Mhm.
gloom about it, but we all know that if they could lowball every one of us for pay, they would, and they'll just keep moving on down that bar.
That's what's happening to me.
Yeah, and that's what the system is designed to do. But what the system itself cannot tolerate is loss, the loss of money, the loss of income. That's where the talk of a general strike comes in.
Property.
Yep, because when everybody stops affecting the means of production, when people stop moving the machines around and all this other stuff, the system goes, "Oh no, I'm not profiting anymore. What do I do?" But that in and of itself is a tenuous situation because if we did go on a general strike, people are going to get worried about where their meal comes from, how they're going to pay their rents, and a lot of those things come into place. It's a very weird place to be in right now overall. And just yeah, I don't know. I don't know where to go with it. I think a
I
lot of
think
us right.
well, we can kind of sit in that though for a second because it is heavy, and
Mhm.
I'm sorry to say that I'm pretty sure that as long as we have this particular regime in power, And as long as we can keep making these episodes, um, eh, they're probably going to be heavisodes. Might have some guests on to make sure they're not all heavisodes, but I just gotta give you a warning that I think it's our duty at this point to continue to talk about current events and to continue to um, at least talk about them in the way that's not going to be harmful. Like that's not going to be
Mhm,
like doom and glooming, but in real ways because we don't get to see a lot of that right now. Um, so just heads up that anytime you see us chatting together without a guest, and maybe even sometimes with a guest, it's going to happen. But I think it's important,
mhm.
and
I think what
we'll go
like,
from
but
there.
well, to kind of bring it back up a little, to be a bit positive,
Yeah,
um, you look at a lot of the special elections because so many seats have either been vacated, people have retired, they got pulled into the Trump admin cabinet, whatever, however that's phrased. You look at a lot of these special elections around the country. There have been massive swings to the blue side. 10 point, 20 point, 30-point victories over Republican candidates. That's big, especially in districts that were like plus 20 to the Republicans just a year ago. Like, that's a big indicator of the blue wave that we're most likely looking at. And bear in mind, I'm no political expert. I'm honestly parroting a lot of the talking points. I have a generalized understanding of a lot of the stuff, as most people do. Um, but it's becoming more and more prevalent, I think. I hate to have to wait for the midterm. I would love for things to happen faster, but I just don't have an option, I guess.
it's an interesting place to be where fascism is still somehow creating bureaucracy.
Mm.
Despite its own push forward, we're still stuck in the need to to fight through bureaucracy to try to make it change. Like our best hope, because we know that the system has been in place for years and it's what we use. And it's a lot harder to convince people to go out in the streets with pitchforks, right? And, than it is to be like, hey, make sure you vote out the person. But even then, it's still hard to get people to vote. So in general, so I
Well,
hope it doesn't come to anything beyond
and there's all those little
current
glimmers, right? Like
systems. But
one of the last times we talked about the Save Act and how horrible that was, but that's pretty much DOA. Even the Republicans know it's DOA. Um, that's one of those things you can kind of, and they don't talk about it anymore either. The only person who does is Mandarin Mussolini. Uh, no one else talks about it because they know it's going nowheres. You know, it's just it's stuck.
yeah,
Um, it's hi Loki. My cat will probably be appearing on camera anytime now to show everybody his butt.
yes.
Um,
Show
but
me the
yeah,
butt, Loki. Show me the butt.
yeah, he's around. He's lurking. I
Oh, he just
feel him
left.
under the
Walked out
chair
the door.
somewhere, wandering in and out. Um, but yeah, totally distracted there. Where was I? Da, da, da. Yeah, I don't know. There's little silver linings. Even though they are trying like hell, it's I've said it before. It's fascism, but it's stupid fascism. It's fascism
So
going to the Benny Hill
stupid.
theme of yakety sax. It's them running between doors because they don't know what they're doing, and they repeatedly make these bonehead moves, and then you can tell when they regret it because they can't stay off socials. It's like I don't know. It's just stupid.
Consistently being cowards and
Oh
going back.
God.
Well, never mind. Well, actually, we're gonna do. No, I actually meant it was gonna be 2 weeks from now, 2 to 3 weeks from now. Yeah,
And you know,
he's deteriorating heavily currently too. It's
it's very
interesting.
fraud and shoida. It's very laugh and cry. You
Yeah.
know, at the same time with a lot of this stuff, it's just the things that happen in between that crossfire, right? Caught in the crossfire.
Crossfire.
Yep, you get stuck in that, and it's just like, okay, what next? What's coming next? And that's where we end up getting into the local level, which I think is where the real
Yeah,
grassroots bread and butter kind of bottom up type stuff at the state level is where we always worry
that's what
about
she
it.
said.
Giggity. I don't want to get too deep into the local laws, although there's a few moments I could point at that are kind of stupid. Because I mentioned this before. Lately, I've been looking at the local state level. I've been looking at laws. After the Kansas bill came out, SB 244, I started looking at other states just to see. And it's not that it's hard to do either, because every other day there's a new news article kind of about something new
Right.
and terrible, new flavor of the week. Um,
Flavor of hate.
yeah. And I just started going down this ridiculous rabbit hole of going state by state. There's a primary website that I look at called translegislation.com. all one word, trans legislation. And they basically track since 2022 or 2023, they track all the different bills that have been that have been proposed, are engrossed, or have passed in the different states, and they are all relative to legislation that affects trans people. Um, Tennessee, for example, has 44 bills currently going on this year. Um, Ohio's got a bunch. Then Massachusetts, they have one that's still on the books, but then there's like 5 others that have failed from last year. Like you get a whole variety of stuff to check out. It's a real good way to keep up what's in each individual state. But I've been going through the bills, and I've been taking notes. Like I have this little notebook, just each bill one by one, state by state. It's a crazy rabbit hole, and I don't know if this is some measure of cope or my way to understand. Ultimately, this is going to be used to throw out my family members when they get on my nerves in a discussion, because well, did you bring the receipts? You got any proof? Yeah, it's right here. Go look. But I've also come to have a new understanding and appreciation for some of the things we hear about when it comes to politics. Oh, Democrats get nothing done. Have you ever read these bills? Like legitimately stopped to read a
Yeah.
bill.
Like, holy shit.
I've read some of them, and I've had to go over and some bills are simpler than others. They are very kind of plain language, common day, common parlance, if you will. And then there are some that I don't know what I read, but I'm sure it had words. Pretty sure it was in English.
Intentional obfuscation of
Oh
direction.
yeah, and the farther back you go in history, in the U.S. history and the U.S. laws, the worse it gets, because back in the day, they didn't talk the same. There was something about the way the written word was done that is just still over my head at times. I feel dumb because of it, but it's silly. And as I do these, I print them out. Like I have a growing binder of the laws. But it's
Binders full
interesting.
of hate.
It is, but it's also fascinating. Like one of the things I was looking at, and I'm still reading them because I was just in the process of checking them out. I don't want the top 2 here. I want the bottom 5. Back in 2024, Louisiana passed the Women's Safety and Protection Act. It's a bathroom bill. We've all heard them. We know what they're basically about. It's the same thing. All right. And this was passed, like I said, in 2024. Tennessee introduced on April 1st their own bill, which is called the Women's Safety and Protection Act.
Huh.
I found the Tennessee one first. My mother's in Tennessee, so I was interested in what's going on there because I'm not going to Tennessee anytime soon. And I was reading through it and reading some of the language. I'm like, okay, it's a thing. And then I was talking to one of my friends last night. She's in Louisiana. I'm like, well, no, it's in your state. And I started to read it. I'm like, wait, I've read this before. Word for word, they are the same bill. There's a few early on things in it where they talked about, oh, to enact upon this code, and where they're actually going to put it within their local stuff, title this, title that, whatever local code book, one of Title 9, all that language is in there. But the actual substance of it, it's word for word the same. That right there, that's your Project 2025.
That's your template for erasure. Yep.
They're talking the exact same language.
They're just going to steal from each other, and it's easy. They made a template already.
And a lot of it too, if not being stolen from, it's what was given to them by their donors, by people like primarily Project 2025, and all these other, hate groups that have money, or any rich person that does, the Peter Thiels and all of them. And it's just pathetic.
Because as we know, the only way to keep your money that you worked so hard for is to make sure you hate on others. Keep them down. Really quick, I make sure I pronounce it correctly. I chat with this person a lot, but I make sure I pronounce this. I think it's weird, Kaylee. I was in the House when HB 239 passed in Tennessee in 2023.
Know that one yet, but I'm just starting on Tennessee. HB 239 legislative report.
Part of history.
Oh, they legally defined sex.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's always fun. That's part of it too. And I think I mentioned this when we were talking about the Kansas bill. They just make it as like bare bone basic and as stupid as possible. Like they will literally cross out the actual scientific definition of gender just so they can use the sex definition and associate it. Oh, they mean the same thing. You're lazy. You're lazy and dishonest, and you know it. You have to be.
Right.
But they do that a lot.
Just to follow up, where Kaylee did say that was the first trans erasure law. Ended up being a template for other states. Yep. Yep.
They start here, they start there, little bit pieces. They've been dribbling them in.
Yeah.
And some of them don't, they go under the radar. Nobody talked about the Louisiana one in 2024. There was other things we
Mhm.
were talking about because it was an election year, but it's the same bill that got proposed in Tennessee that people are like, "Oh my god, it's already there. It's already been done. Not new." We just weren't paying attention at that
They just
point.
got copy and paste.
And
Great.
to be fair, and I think we've all felt this, those in our community at least, or the greater LGBTQ plus, have all felt this. We're surrounded by it. It comes from every angle, every hour of the day, nonstop. You're gonna miss stuff, and it sucks. you know, and how do you weather it? That becomes the real question. How do you get through that?
Yeah.
You
And
know.
how
Hmm.
do you balance staying informed with being, making sure you're taking care of your mental health and able to compartmentalize? I have a feeling that a lot of us have probably gotten really good at compartmentalization because we keep having to persist and exist, and
Yeah.
do all of the things to survive, amidst all of this. So just I'm proud of y'all. Good job.
Yep. Yep. And they're gonna keep going. They're gonna keep going. Um, it's gonna take a long time. It will. Um, and the answers are always kind of the same in these discussions is, "Oh, move to a blue state." Easier said than done. Lay low. And some of the more terrible things I've heard is, "Well, try detransitioning." Never gonna happen. Um, you know, there's some things you can do, and a lot of the times we're finding, like Idaho, who has their recent one where they're trying to police all this stuff with criminal offenses. Even the local police unions and cops have said, we can't enforce this. We don't have the personnel. It's virtually impossible. There's gonna be a lot of instances where I think it's gonna be the rhetoric is gonna become, oh well, it's just there, but no one does anything about it. It was just all guff. It's hard, you know. We ultimately though have to protect ourselves and do the best we can to stay safe. So don't know what
Yes.
the answer is. There is no easy answer.
Yeah, building community. I know we have the digital one in our Discord. Plugging the Discord server. You should really get on the Discord server. It's pretty great. We've got almost 500 people on there. I forget what the number is right now, but you should join and hang out. Even if you don't really care about the podcast, that's okay. We've got a great community going on there. But I know it is very difficult in a lot of places to have um, in-person communities, but that is the most impactful for you and for others around you. So if you're able to, and I think now's the time to kind of start to push a little bit outside of your comfort zone, building those spaces or at least meeting people in those spaces is a good idea. And that's where you start. And then the communities will take care of each other as long as it's what you agree upon.
Yep.
Unions at work, right? Similar idea.
Few and far
But like
between,
we
but if
can't
you have
have,
access to one.
yeah. And or if you can create one somehow without your work stomping it out like a cigarette butt, then that is how we can survive things like strikes. That is how you can survive things like um, needing to have a little extra kick when negotiating terms with a contract or with an employer. So um, these things are both very difficult and they're easier said than done, but they are very, very effective. Um, as long as you can push through and make them happen. That's my soapbox. A little bit of my Minnesotan accent coming through. You're welcome for that little
Oh,
treat there.
one of my cats is under the desk and he's trying to get on my leg. That's why I'm
Oh, okay.
distracted slightly. Cosmos,
Yeah.
make a decision. You coming up, you coming down. What are you doing? Stop. He's just sniffing. He smells something on my jeans. Who the hell knows? And one of the fun things too that fun, weird. I don't know how to phrase this one because I find this unbelievably amusing, but also unbelievably stupid. When I was looking at some of the Ohio stuff, I came across one of their bills that was introduced and is currently it's in committee. It's HB 700 in Ohio. This is right now
Yeah.
has the award for the dumbest law proposed to date. Uh, give you some history behind this bill proposal. Apparently, sometime between 2023 and 2024, there was a University of Ohio game, and Ohio fans are intense. They love University of Ohio. They love their sports teams. I'm not a sports person, so I'm gonna flub that part. But they had a game. I think it was against Michigan, and they lost. Ohio lost home game. It happens. At some point at the end of the game, when the other team was celebrating, they took their flag. I think it was University of Michigan. I'm going to go with Michigan for the purpose of discussion. And they took their flag and they planted it in the middle of the Ohio State field as they were celebrating their win. Okay, it's a thing. It happened. Apparently, this was offensive. So HB 700 was proposed. No person shall plant a flagpole with a flag attached to it in the center of the football field at Ohio State of this Ohio State University on the day of a college football competition, whether before, during, or after the competition. Someone got so offended they introduced it as law.
Oh
The
my God.
Representative Williams out of their 44th district, I think his first name's John. It doesn't matter. Representative Williams proposed this, and I'm just like, dude, what? Why?
I feel like people who make laws like this or introduce laws like this are the same people who get their start at working for the HOA or something, for an HOA. Because like that's so petty.
Oh, it gets
So
better.
petty.
Oh, it gets
Okay.
better. There's one more sentence I didn't read. Whoever violates this section is guilty of a felony of the 5th degree. A violation of this section is a strict liability offense, and Section 2901 of Revised Code doesn't apply. In Ohio state law, a felony of the 5th degree is 6 months to 1 year in prison. But that isn't what caught my eye. It was that single word, felony. This isn't a misdemeanor. This is a felony. So if you are a 20, 21-year-old college kid, you go there, you're celebrating, flag in the ground, right? You just ruined your life. If this was actually going through, you just ruined your life because you will now be, as presuming you're found guilty, of course, you're going to be you're going to be a felon. That means every job interview you go on, it's going to pop. It's going to come up on every background check in most states, if not all of them. You will lose your right to vote, all because you took a flag and went in Ohio State grounds. And why that caught my attention, besides the fact that that's just extreme and ridiculous, is that kind of tells you, not that we don't already know, where their minds are at. Like, that is a very clear indication of how reasonable they would actually be. It's why it was, oh, well, come to have a, let's have a discussion on this stuff. Let's come to the table and talk. How can I have a talk about equality or trans rights or any issue when your idea is to make someone a felon for celebrating at a college game and putting a flag in the ground that ultimately does nothing? Like, where's the room for that discussion? It's crazy. It's crazy. It's a cult.
It's crazy. It's crazy. It's one-sided.
Oh, yeah.
It's double standards all around.
Yeah. But I thought that was just unbelievably goofy.
That is goofy.
And they're so specific with it. It's just like, oh God. I love to hate it and I hate to love it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to do with that one. That just popped and it was funny.
Well, we gotta have some silliness here and there, I guess.
Oh. It reminds me of back in like the early 2000s, the early days of the internet, when people were just putting out information at random and you'd have little websites that would pop up like stupid laws that exist from state to state. I know I saw a lot of those back in the day on random websites. And you'd get dumb ones like it could be a law out of, I don't know, North Dakota. And the law was like, one of the laws I saw was you're not allowed to tie and leave your giraffe attached to a telephone pole. And this is a law going back to like the late 1800s, early 1900s. The only reason I could think of it, maybe the circus came to town and they tied a giraffe up and then
I have to believe something like that happened, right?
But like you get those type of stupid laws, and I'm like, that's what that is. You just made a joke of a law.
Oh my God!
Like I
There's
can't
all
take
kinds of strange laws like that. Like you can't drive backwards down an alleyway on Tuesdays after 6 p.m. Like there's a bunch of weird shit out there like that in different states and different just local areas, and that aren't enforced, right? Because they get ignored and they get forgotten. But I get worried that there are still some disgusting laws out there that would impact us if they are like, oh, hey, we already have this on file. We can just enforce it.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of the research I've been doing on a lot of the stuff that they are enacting, they are citing case law that goes back to the early 1900s, 1800s. There's a law that one of my friends pointed out that's just popping in Kentucky. It's their latest stupidity. And they are saying, I forget what it was. I think they're trying to classify being transgender as a mental disorder. I might have that out of correctness, but There he is. They're citing the DSM-3. We're up to the DSM-5. They have to go back to older material to make any of this work because they know if they use anything that's current day, it's not going to work. They have to be dishonest. Like I said earlier, they have to be dishonest. And it's just dumb.
Yeah. It's like, oh, well, we're going to do a report, but we're going to use our own people for the report. And we're going to make sure that they're all, not actually scientists in any way or any actual
Yeah.
certified
Yep.
physicians. And that's how you get shit like the cast review. And that's how you get shit like things that are built off of the cast review and are basically, similar templates of discrimination by similar or in cahoots organizations that are pushing hate. And it just keeps happening because they have all the money somehow. So,
Well, yeah, and even the cast review specifically, even the woman herself who wrote it, her last name is Cass. I forget her first name. She's even come out and said, "Y'all misquoted my report. Everything you're claiming it does was not in it. It wasn't. Like they just are dishonest."
yep, great.
Um, where was it? When I was looking at the case laws for Louisiana and the Tennessee, their Protect Women Act, they go back and they cite a 1946 case here in the States, Ballard versus United States. If you're familiar with women's rights movements, Ballard is very important because Ballard is one that establishes a lot of gender equality. But what was Ballard about? Ballard specifically is about a woman's right to serve on a jury. Think about that. The whole point of that piece of case law that went to the Supreme Court was Edna Ballard
Uh,
she actually got in trouble. I think she got in trouble for voter fraud as it was. But the jury, I think the jury that she had was an all male jury. And she fought against it, said that's bias. There's no women. And then when they started looking at case after case after case in California, that's what that case was. They found the jurors were always men. Women were being excluded. Shocker, given the times. We're talking 1940s, 30s, 20s, right? Going backwards. And so the Supreme Court read it, looked at it, and said, yeah, no, you can't discriminate on this. They all get to be on jury because we all want jury duty. Let's be real. Every one of us wants to be on jury duty. But that case is often cited for the purposes of equality, gender equality specifically. And rightly so. It's a very good example, but it's not applicable to bathrooms, at least not in my opinion, and not the way they're using it. But they like to cite it. They have to go out of their way to be.
they have to go out of their way to be wrong.
Just looking in the chat, Abby brought up that the DSM-5 states that gender incongruency is a disorder, but being trans no longer is. And that is correct. They do mention gender dysphoria and such in the DSM-5, but that is primarily there for insurance purposes because they need something to bill against. And that gives them that ability to do so. It's always insurance. Damn insurance.
It's always money every time. All right, did we miss anything else here in the chat? Well, yeah, here's some great little tidbits. Weird Kaylee says there's a slew of carnival and traveler motivated laws in the South. So that's a big part of why we have weird ones there. And then Abby Verde says if you cross London Bridge as a taxi, you must have a hay bale.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. Not that like any of us are taxi drivers in London.
I'm willing to bet that one law goes back to the horse-drawn carriage days, and that there was
Probably.
some droppings left behind, some nuggets in the road, and you were probably required to put something over it. That'd be my guess. I don't know. I barely know my British history. I just know there's a lot of castles over there, a lot of people named George. That's all I know.
I'm trying to think of what a bale of hay would be used for if you were a taxi. But
traction in the winter? Get it under your tires? I don't know.
That's a good point.
I don't know. All I know is I get around bales of hay, I start sneezing because of all the seed that's in it. I don't know.
I don't know. You got any more stuff in that little book of yours to throw the book at people with?
It's all terrible. They're all kind of the same thing, honestly.
Yeah.
After a while, they just kind of homogenize in my head. Like I'm kind of at the point now where I've read so many of these laws that I'm just like, I was going through them today when I was going through my notes, and I was looking at Tennessee to see what I'd covered thus far, and I'm up to 1, 4. Where's the rest of Tennessee? 5, 6, 7, 8, like 9 different laws in Tennessee that I've looked at. Some are supplemental to others, just to like, oh, this redefines that, like little things like that. They don't really count per se, but it's like I was going cross-eyed. I'd always look for like, okay, I got to eliminate these now. 'Cause I'm doing this
My
old
God.
school pen and paper. I'm not doing it in an Excel spreadsheet like a proper human would.
Like a proper human?
Yeah. But, it's just it's kind of all the same. Just a lot of stupid stuff. It's just all so stupid. It's all stupid.
It's also stupid. Um,
And
I
it's
do
always
know
the
that
trans
that
women, not the trans men. They always cite protect it's always the women.
yeah,
That's
imagine
kind of
that.
the through line. It's almost like
Imagine that.
it's almost like the patriarchy doesn't like women. I could be wrong. Call me crazy. They wanna protect
You're
us.
crazy.
I don't know. I don't know.
You told me to
And
do it. You're crazy.
I just work here. I just work here, man. That's all I do. I just work here, do my job, go home,
You just
collect my paycheck.
you just work here and like Charlie Day putting all the little red yarn
Absolutely.
on your map and shit and plotting out what all of the different news stories mean. What does it
It's
all
always su
mean? I mean,
it's always sunny.
it's always sunny.
It might be, Abby.
Oh my.
It might be for feeding the horses. I don't know. I sneeze a lot
Oh
around horses. I try to avoid them. So I don't know. Fun story.
yeah.
When I was a kid, my parents took me to a dude ranch and I had my first asthma attack and I don't even have asthma. There was so much hay and so much hayseed at that time of year that it basically induced an asthma attack because I inhaled so much. I spent an entire afternoon at this dude ranch just locked in the AC trying to breathe again.
No.
I don't ride horses much.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think that's fine. I don't either. I could ride a horse. I rode a horse like once, I think. I was very young. I remember just being bumpy. That's all. Not a horse girl, that's for sure.
Riding something. Ain't a horse.
Hey now.
But yeah, no.
I will neither confirm nor deny the allegations.
On that note, do we want to do a break now? We're about 45, 50 minutes in.
Let's do a little break now. How about that?
Sounds
Just take a
good.
second, take a stretch. Maybe I'll lead everyone in some nice deep breathing as we get ready for the second part of a episode. You know, stick around for some breathing exercises with me. I know I look very yoga instructory. I always do. It's the abs, I know. But yeah, let's take a little break.
I've got one super ab.
One super ab. Hey,
One super
it
ab.
counts. It counts. I'm trying to get back to my media so I can play our little outro. Aha, I did it. Okay, everyone stick around. We're just going on a little intermission. We're still going to probably be here. I'll be here entertaining everyone. And then we'll come back in about 5-10 minutes and do another half of the show. You're welcome. And go. And do the thing. And play. Is it doing it?